Chair recognizes Councilmember Wong.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Hotze, thank you for coming down here today to present and to defend the Constitution, the charter of the city, very enthusiastically and also eloquently. But when we vote, we also want to protect the city's charter. But as an attorney, many of us are here attorneys, but we are not experts in the charters or in the Constitution. We have to rely on the experts. The legal department here they are the experts. We have to rely on their information and their judgment and their presentation. At that time, we did not get the information and presentation from the people, from the citizens like you. So if we are here, we vote, and we don't have the expert to help us, we have to rely entirely on the expert here. That's the teamwork. As going to court, many of us here know that even we got good lay people coming up and testify, but you are not an expert in the area. Your testimony is going to be almost void, invalid. You have no credibility. So that's what it is. It's very hard for us when we are sitting here making a decision, a tough decision at that time. And I had to raise the question many times, are you sure this is within Proposition 1? Are you sure this is within Proposition 2?
Thank you very much. That, unless we have a motion, that concludes. We have a motion to suspend the rules and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Councilmember time extend for 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Councilmember, can I say just one thing?
Thank you.
No, I'm sorry, it's out of order. If he asks you a question, you may speak, but Chair recognizes Councilmember Wong.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So at that time, we already get the assurance from the experts, the legal experts. That's why we voted for it. Not because we do not honor the charter, nor we just ignore the citizens' concern, but because of our job, of what we have to do for the better of our city. Now, I know there are other things that in your mind. I'm going to yield my time to you now. And my question to you is that, to your knowledge, to your understanding, Proposition 1 and Proposition 2, and if there is any violation, what is the violation, and can we cure that violation?
First, I think that this water and sewer rate is in violation of it. Number two, I think that they're in violation of Proposition 2, probably going back to 2006. There's probably some $30 million that's owed to pay back to the citizens. That was revenue that was beyond those limitations that should have gone back. So I believe that's the truth. Regarding this case about transparency, if there was such transparency, why was the notice that was filed in the newspaper that talked about this so incoherent that no one could tell about it? It listed in case number D-423-706 in Travis County Court, City of Houston, and then finally about 12 inches down it talked about water rates. It was done. It was not done. You guys didn't know about it. They posted in the paper in a very thin, narrow line. Nobody could have known about it. This is not transparency. This is not trying to let the public know what's going on. It's just the opposite. You guys are trying to hide all this. We wouldn't have known about that. We had to rush up and do this because we only saw the second notice. And it's unbelievable that you wouldn't do this in public. You wouldn't do it in Harris County. It's just unbelievable. So I do think you're in violation of the charter. These are propositions. These are charter changes. I want to be real clear about it. They refer to propositions. These are charter changes. These are the law of the city council here. And you guys should comply with it. And we shouldn't go against the will of the people. If you're going to bend any direction, you should bend towards the will of the people to vote. I say let the people vote. What is wrong with the people voting for these things? If it's a hard decision, if the charter says you should vote, why lean to the attorneys and say, you know, there's a way we can get around the people voting on it, and we can do whatever we want. I don't think that's a good way to lean. And I would advise you to listen with a jaundiced ear to the legal people that say, don't go out and get a vote of the people. We don't need to. That's what they were telling you, and I would advise you to think very hard about that and ask people about that, because they're not going to be always right either.
Dr. Hotze,
you.
you already heard the testimony of the legal expert, our city attorney here. So do you think his answer is right or wrong?
His answer about what occurred yesterday?
Yes.
I think some of what he said was right, but there are still a lot of people. And let me tell you, for all the documents that have been produced to me, you guys are going to have a pretty big bill from Anderson Kurth unless they're doing it pro bono, which they did do. Do you know that the city of Houston has been represented pro bono in Proposition 2 for over 6 years? The city of Houston paid $100,000 fee. I paid over $300,000 personally to fight to get Proposition 2 in effect. The city of Houston has only paid $100,000. You've been using pro bono lawyers who do things that have some other connection to the city and get some other money from either issuing bonds or some other fashion. They don't do that work for free. Millions of dollars worth of work.
Dr. Hotze, I believe that once they say they are pro bono attorneys, if I'm not mistaken, then they are going to be pro bono attorneys, right? And they were not going to judge the city.
If I may respond, Madam Chair? Mayor?
Since I apologize, I was at a funeral. Coming in the middle of this, if council has already allowed you to speak, unless there's an objection, I will ask you to respond.
Thank you, Mayor. As a matter of fact, Councilmember Long, the Prop 2, Prop 1, Prop 2 litigation that Mr. Hotze is referring to, Scott Atlas is representing the city on this on a pro bono basis. Neither he nor...
Pause for a second, please. There's a motion to extend. There's a second. In favor, opposed, motion carries. Mr. Feldman, but keep it brief.
Yes, ma'am. Neither he nor his firm was doing any other work for the city at the time, before or since.
You mean Fulbright Jaworski doesn't do any work for the city? He was with Fulbright and Jaworski at the time.
Thank you.
Councilmember Starting.
Thank you. I just have a quick question. This is just posed another question. We had legal advice of a previous city attorney. Now we have a new city attorney. Is it the position of the new city attorney that we are in compliance with our city charter?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Councilmember Jones.
Just really quickly, Judge Atzel, he used to also be a judge. I practiced before him. But I'm just if you said Scott Atlas, but I'm just sort of curious why it's bad for the city to get pro bono legal services. I don't understand that. I mean, if it can save us money, why wouldn't we do it? But it's just a thought that popped into my mind. It was rhetorical, by the way.
I have no other council members on the list. We'll move to the next speaker.
Thank you so very much for having me here today.
The next speaker is